What is going on, guys? This All Gaming with my review of Naruto chapter 688, and holy crap, I have no idea where to begin with this chapter, but I gotta say, I was not pleased at all. This chapter right here was a straight up ass pull, and I cannot believe that Kishimoto would pull some crap like this. Now, I really have no problem with Obito giving Kakashi, his Sharingan, somehow doing it even though he was dead. That right there was not really, that bad to me. But what was bad, that Kakashi, he somehow already has the perfect Susanoo, which has made absolutely no sense to me. And that right there is my biggest problem with the chapter overall. But the chapter itself, it starts off where we once again had Obito and Ren during the afterlife, and Obito is crying, but he's happy because he is with Ren. But we see now that when Ren is trying to pull him, toward her, we see now that Obito here, he actually wants her to wait a little bit longer, because right now he somehow wants to go back to the other world, even though it will only be for a little bit. So right now, Ren is wondering who is he trying to help this time, and we all know that once again it's Kakashi, and that right there, it does surprise her. But Obito here, he's so happy that he finally with Ren, that he does not want Kakashi to come here, because right now he's in the middle of a very important battle and he can't really do anything. So Kakashi pretty much a scarecrow, and that right there is what is really annoying Obito. So he wants to change that. So we have Ren here happy that Obito wants to go back and help him, and she was despite everything that happened, these two are pretty good friends. And Obito for some reason is denying that, which makes no sense to me. But we see now that Ren is just happy, and we see that Obito, he's using Kamui to go back to the other world, because somehow the afterlife and the real world, they're connected by chakra, and Kamui is just so freaking overpowered. We see that it allows the dead to go back to the other world, even if for a little bit of time. And so we see now that in the present time, where we have Obito ashes, we see his chakra rising from his body, and he kind of possesses Kakashi. And so we see now that in Kakashi's mind, they're in their childhood ages again. And so now we see that Obito, he had came here to tell Kakashi something, and it kind of like the same thing that they did before about not following him. And now we're going back to their childhood, when he was saying that that he gave Obito, that he gave Kakashi his Sharingan, as a gift, and it definitely wouldn't be right if he had returned that so soon. And so now we see that Obito, he was telling Kakashi what he said to Naruto about becoming Hokage, but what he meant was the 7th Hokage, and Kakashi will be the 6th. And now that right there, it was a bit surprising, because I do know at one point that people did want Kakashi to be Hokage, but I wasn't sure if that right there, would really, go down or not. But it seems now that if Kakashi does not die at the end of this, which now I really doubt, it does seem like he will be the next Hokage, taking over, for Tsunade. So that right there will be interesting. And so right now we have Obito. He is now passing on his eyes, to a Kakashi. And he says that it may only be temporary, and I'm not really sure what he meant by that. Maybe Kakashi will lose a Sharingan, or it's possible that it won't be as powerful as it could be after the war. I'm not really sure what he meant in that sense, but hopefully that they will explain this, because right now it just makes no sense to me. But of course we all know about Kakashi's name, about how he's Kakashi of the Sharingan, and we see now that now he has both Obito eyes, and we see that they're in their Mangekyo form. And so now we see Black Zetsu, who was still a part of Kaguya's arm. It has now fell to the ground, but it can't move because Naruto actually impaled it with 2 of those black rods. So that right there was definitely nice. I am glad to see that Black Zetsu is becoming more and more relevant, because Kaguya here is the main villain. She should not be so partnerish or listening to her son or something, because Black Zetsu is pretty much like a parasite. But we see now that Kaguya, even though she is hurt, she's still putting up a pretty good fight, because we see her, forcing Sasuke back. And we see now that when Naruto gets in there, we see that they brings out all of these Rasen Shuriken, but they're all like based on, you know, like a tail beast, and that right there was like pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, and it just made like this massive explosion, because you see like Kaguya like might have some kind of counter for it, like in that one panel, which like she was getting like you're pretty serious, but we see now that like Naruto attack, it was successful, and it actually made just like pretty big explosion that that made a shockwave that like sent like Sasuke flying. And so now we see that Kaguya, she is hurt for once, and we see now that like all the tail beasts, they are now coming out of her. But the thing is though, but the thing is that when they come out, they're like this massive blob, because it's not the Jubi, they're just like this massive blob. And we see one now, I do believe that it's a two-tail, I'm not really sure, but it actually has, you know, like Kaguya eyes. So I'm not really sure if that right there is supposed to mean something, but we just see like this deformed blob of all the tail beasts, and it's like thanks to Naruto attack, because right now they're unstable, and we see now that even though Naruto should be able to control this chakra, or you know, still inside of him, it is going berserk. If we just see all these hints coming out of it, and we have a Naruto clone pushing the real one and Sasuke out of the way as one of those hands actually touch it, and you just see now that his body is absorbing it. And so we see that like one of them is going after Sakura, and she's like trying to get away from it, but you have Naruto telling Sasuke to use his eye power to save her. And so we see now that when he does try to use it, you would think that, you know, it would be him that has saved her, but we see now that it's a perfect Susanoo. It does not belong to Sasuke, it belongs to somebody else. And even the Black Zetsu, he was even shocked to see this, because right now we see that like somehow Kakashi, he is somehow able to form a perfect Susanoo already. So that right there was like pretty shocking, but at least now with the like master power up, Kakashi is no longer useless. But like I said, this chapter right here, it was just one major ass pull to me. So sadly enough, I had to give it, you know, a pretty low score, probably a 4 out of 10. But that right there is my own personal opinion. But of course, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.